Okay, we have a letter for me to have a look at. Now what I'm going to do, and this is partly the strategy that I've been trying to explain to my students. If you think about it, in reality, the recipient of your letter will not have access to case notes. All that they would have is a document before them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read this now as if I am the intended recipient. I am Miss Bruin or whoever, and I'm just going to read this and see if it makes sense. So if the purpose is clear, if the content's good, right? I mean, I'm not going to look at the case notes, so maybe the content might be off, but I can see conciseness and clarity, I can see genre and style, organization and layout, and I can see the linguistic features. So now I'm writing to discharged. Well, first, why is that past tense? So if you've got to plus infinitive, I'm writing to discharge. Mr. Baker today, who underwent left total hip replacement. You could put an article because it can be counted. That's in the hospital. So what I would probably do is make this a non-defining relative clause. I'm writing to discharge Mr. Baker today, who underwent left total hip replacement, for your continuity of care. Okay, so make that a non-defining relative clause so we can take it out so it doesn't change the meaning of a sentence. Mr. Baker was the right now. I would be tempted to put some kind of dates because I'm reading this and I wonder, well, when exactly did he go into hospital? How long's he been there? What's been going on? So there's no date. When was he admitted? Okay, so he was admitted to a hospital sometime, no idea. So was admitted, that's good. Now has required, why is that present perfect? Why did you use that? Simply required surgery. Was admitted due to his worsening osteoarthritis and required a surgery. Right now, we can use present perfect here, has fully recovered, because that's connecting past and present, but we don't really need it there. Who was readmitted due to his worsening osteoarthritis for surgery. Okay. And has now fully recovered. Okay. Now he has been recommenced. Now you haven't said anything about him being commenced. So recommenced means he was commenced on aspirin before, but I don't know if you mean he was taking it before. Now, as again, I'm not looking at the notes here, right? The best way to approach a letter task, as I've mentioned, is to put yourself in the shoes of the reader. Okay? Imagine if you were reading this, is everything clear, purpose, what you want them to do, why you want them to do it? Is all the details, does it make sense? Is it logical? Because you're telling a story. As I keep telling people, you're constructing a narrative. So have you done that? So I'm reading this now, and I don't know if he was commenced on aspirin before. So why has it been recommenced? So this, without looking at the notes, right, this doesn't make any sense at all, right? In addition to Panton, if you mean, as again, I'm not gonna look at the notes. I'm just gonna read it as if I am the reader, so that doesn't make sense to me right now. Mr. Baker appeared disoriented post-operatively, which is possibly related to anesthesia and requires your ongoing observation. So we've kind of got mixed information in the sentence. So he appeared disorientated, disoriented post-operatively, which is possibly related to anesthesia. Put a comma and separate it, and requires your ongoing observation. Okay. So we've got two separate things. So why would you put that in the same sentence? I mean, look, you have he requires your continuous monitoring. So if you're monitoring him, aren't you observing him too? Yeah, so you can monitoring, observing. I mean, it says here monitoring for any signs of anemia, but if so it's kind of like you've like said the same thing kind of twice in a slightly different way. So you could have said, right, Mr. Baker, blah blah blah, possibly related to anesthesia. Then carried on with the symptoms, what happened. His hemoglobin, for which he was transfused with 3 units of blood. Okay. And then, now, you don't need to put consequently as a consequence of. You could simply say subsequently, afterwards, or just he requires your continuous monitoring in terms of anemia and ongoing observation. So you could if you wanted to say it twice, if it's two slightly different things, you could put it there. Okay? Or simply say your continuous monitoring and ongoing observation. So you're kind of grouping like information in your sentences. Okay, now as per discharged plan, why did you use the past tense? Again, as per his discharge plan, or the discharge plan, no need for a comma. Mr. Baker requires changing wound. What did you put? Regular changing of his wound dressing. Now that's better. To preserve his skin integrity. So just watch that word order, right? That syntax. And regularly to preserve his skin integrity. Now, worthy of note what? Which means what? Why is it noteworthy? You could put please note, or you could simply say, he will have backspace. He will have let's put this here. He will have his staple, only one. Presumably he has more than one. Staples removed, and because it can be counted follow-up blood test on the 27th of the 21st of the 9th. We will provide a walker, because it can be counted, and wedge pillow, or a wedge pill, to aid in promoting his full recovery. And he will need to continue his exercise program with the help of, it's either an occupational therapist or if it's a particular one, occupational therapist. Okay. Also, our social worker has organised the hire of raise. How can you hire? And that raise, rise? Is it supposed to be a verb? Is it a noun? Raise, hire of raise for 2 weeks. No idea what that means. Okay, so and where's the restatement of the request? So the criteria says you have your purpose, you restate it at the bottom. In view of the above, I would appreciate it if you could, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's kind of, where's the closing? Where is it? I mean, you could put the discharge of the plan, blah, 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 but okay. In view of the above, can you see that he's continued his program? Can you see blah, blah, blah? But we need some closing. You've got to restate your purpose at the bottom. Where's the criteria? I'll show you what I mean. If it's all open, if files open, criteria. Right. Purpose. Clearly expanded on later, often near the end of the document. So where is it? Should be at the bottom. So purpose. Make sure that you put it at the end as well. So, some grammar, some vocab, quite a few things need some attention here. Okay, hope that helps. Now, can't remember whose this was. It was the last one in the group. So I'll just post the link in OET right now, and you can see for yourself. Okay, that's the first one.